Hello, hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Matt. I'm not sure how you wanted to start it, but would you mind if I start with a question instead?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
see. Let's see where it goes.
Thank you for coming to my show then. Would you mind telling me what's your vision here? What is the impact that you want to make in the
Ah,
world by doing this?
I think that the best way to explain it. So we started Cornrock Ventures about a year and a half ago now, and I come from the world of media. So I started doing purely on in media and Web one. So about 20 years ago. So I'm familiar with building brands and personal brands and. I've run multiple marketing and media businesses in the past, agencies. I enjoy connecting with people who are experts and who know what they're talking about. And so the venture side was something that was, so like I said, started 18 months ago. My partner and co-founder, so Caius, we had this discussion about 5, 6 months ago. We said it would actually be very beneficial to have a media arm to spread the words, get interesting people, because we have a strong network in crypto in general. And so the idea was to, okay, let's put together these streams. Maybe let's do them 2, 3 times a week. Let's get interesting guests and just have cool conversations between from Web one, but also Web two, Web three, of course. People who've been in either traditional finance and looking more at crypto, or also extremely crypto native people. Some of them who've been in crypto since year one, and just bringing them on the show and talking and having them for like 30, 40 minutes. And that's it. Usually non-scripted. I have a list of questions here that the team always puts together based on the guest. But usually the shows are very organic, and then that gets published in different mini clips and the whole like reels on social media, and that's what Cornrock is.
All right, thanks for telling me. I will try to be an interesting guest.
I'm sure there's a lot we can talk about. So the way we start the show, I read a short bio, but this is what we have. And then I want you to, of course, tell the story, complement everything, and then we basically go into just a conversation. So it's usually extremely organic. So the bio we have is the following: No Power 73 is a privacy-focused software developer and the co-author of Programming Bitcoin, best known for founding Wasabi Wallet, and he is now building the Longevity World Cup, a sport where age reversal is the goal. I'm very interested in that too. About Programming Bitcoin, Programming Bitcoin is a technical guidebook co-authored by No Power 73 that teaches readers how to build Bitcoin from scratch using Python. Aimed at developers, it breaks down the core mechanics of Bitcoin, covering everything from cryptographic fundamentals to networking and consensus, providing a hands-on learning path to understanding Bitcoin at the code level. That's the overview. Of course, we can go into Wasabi Wallet, which is a privacy-enhancing Bitcoin wallet. One thing I will say here about you asked about what is CoinRock and why do we do this. One of the other rules that we have when we reach out to guests is that we want people who are actively doing something. So building something in the space, investing in the space, because to be able to talk about something, you need to be doing it actively, right? We don't want people who just have theory, because theory is easy. We want people who are building and who see the market evolve and who are actively doing something in it. So in this case, with you, Wasabi Wallet, and something else too that I always say is we have not been paid by Wasabi Wallet. This is just like, this is what Nopar is working on. It's a privacy enhancing Bitcoin wallet that implements CoinJoin technology to enable anonymous Bitcoin transactions. I know privacy is a big deal. I definitely want to get into that on the show. It's designed for users who prioritize financial privacy, offering features like Tor integration, coin control, and client-side filtering. And then we can get also into the Longevity World Cup, which is more on the health side. So that's what we have, but I want to give it to you. Who is Nopar? Why Bitcoin? How did you get into this world?
All right, so there was a lot of things there. Let me just tell you the context here because you kind of try to describe last 15 years.
Yep.
or more actually. So, right, I got into Bitcoin, right, and I started working on Wasabi wallet, which was called completely different names. So I started the project, and I wanted to make Bitcoin anonymous. And Wasabi wallet was still is the most successful project in that sense. So the most successful, most popular wallet software that people use if they want to be anonymous on Bitcoin.
Yep.
Now, okay, if I'm doing this, then how's the longevity World Cup stuff comes comes here? The thing is that after a decade of working on Bitcoin privacy, I learned, I wouldn't say the hard way, because there are Bitcoin privacy developers who learned it in really hard way,
Mm.
that larger violence organizations like governments do not like if their citizens have a money that cannot be traced.
Yep. Yep.
So there are probably, you know about the Tornado Cash people
Yep.
or the Samurai Wallet people.
Yep.
Most of them are in jail. Some of them are in territories where they didn't put them in jail, but you know it didn't end up well for them.
Yep.
And I was getting attacks as well, and my family was getting attacks, right? So
Mm.
they were closing my bank accounts. The Security Council of the United Nations is sending us emails about North Korean hackers, or what the U.S. Secret Service has been requesting all my everything that Google knows about me, right?
Well,
So so
it's pretty
so
serious. Yeah. Yeah. They want to know.
so well, it's not serious anymore because the time has passed.
Mm.
I learned about it, of course, much later,
Yep.
when Google sent me a message, and not just Google, actually, there were other internet companies that I was using that were sending me
Yep.
this message, but Google was giving me a lot more information,
Yep.
so that, hey, now they can tell me that the U.S. Secret Service, that they gave all the information about IP addresses and whatnot to
Mm.
the U.S. Secret Service, right? So
Yep.
so anyway, this was not going well
Mm.
in this sense. So about 2 years ago, I left left the company, ZK
Mhm.
Snacks, that we built with what we built Wasabi Wallet, and about a year ago, Samurai Wallet developers got jailed, and
Yep.
the remaining people who were doing the ZK Snacks company have closed the company, right?
Yep.
So Wasabi Wallet have is still alive and well, but it lives in a very different way. So
Mm.
first of all, there is no company behind Wasabi Wallet. Some developers who believed that they should be able to do it if they are not charging money for it,
Yep.
then as a non-profit, or I don't know how you would call it, they would
Yep.
be
Yep.
able to
Non-profit. Yep.
go forward with this project. But
Yep.
also there was a group of people. So the company at its height was like 50 people.
Mm.
But there were many people who got out of job when the company closed. And there
Yep.
was also a group of people who forked Wasabi Wallet, Ginger Wallet, and they started doing some very, very heavy censorship on their users.
Mm.
So they were trying to really send away 60% of everyone who would like to use that wallet. All right.
Why? Like,
So,
what was the reason? Do you know?
well, if your coin has the slightest chance of coming from a source that some governments don't like,
Yep.
then they default to no, right? So
Got
it's
it. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
instead of innocent until proven guilty, it's like you're guilty until you're proven innocent. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
switched this entire paradigm. So they are going forward with the company structure with another fork, Ginger Wallet. All right.
Yep.
So Wasabi Wallet as a traditional open source, free and open source software developed like Electrum Wallet or Bitcoin Core, and Ginger Wallet, which is also free and open source software,
Yep.
but developed through a company structure. And so that's what's going on. But I am not involved in any of that because, well, obvious reasons. I prioritize the health and well-being of my family,
Yep.
and that's how I switched profession to longevity, and in that
Yep.
the longevity World Cup, where people are
So what is it?
competing with each other who can reverse their age the most.
Yeah. So is it really? I mean, I think with age, everyone starts looking more into like how not to die. So what is it? How does it work basically? If you could explain it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. People have two fears that one is the fear of non-existence, and
Yep.
the other is the events leading up to your own death,
Yep.
because chances are that's not going to be pretty, and sometimes it takes a very long time. You're sick. So the longevity World Cup is a unique way of looking at this field, because what's the bottleneck of longevity work? The longevity research bottleneck is that we cannot measure how long people are living.
Yep.
We can measure mortality, but even that takes many years. Of course, if you would want to measure people's lifespan, that would take hundreds of years or whatnot. But people are developing biological aging clocks. So basically, from blood tests or saliva
Yep.
or all kinds of different ways, they are trying to calculate what's your biological age as opposed to chronological age.
Sure.
So the difference is that, let me put you in a freezer, and 30 years later, I take you out. Okay, so
Yep.
your biological age didn't change, but your chronological age is plus 30 years.
Yep.
So these are the metrics that people are competing against each other, who can reverse their biological age.
I mean, it's a big switch, right? So you how was the switch? Because you went from like privacy oriented wallets to extreme health preservation and longevity, and actually reversal.
Yeah. You see, there are two ways to look at it. One is that I had a friend, we called him the Hungarian Bitcoin Jesus. So
Yep.
once he came to me, is that he said, "Look, Adam, we solved money. We already solved it. Bitcoin is just a
Mm,
matter of time. What's the next revolution that you can think of that can be even bigger than money?" I'm like, "I don't know." He said, "Longevity." And I'm like, huh, maybe. And he put a bug in my head,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
it was always in the back of my mind. I started listening to longevity YouTube channels and stuff like that. So I was kind of planning this transition for a long time. But
mm,
after all, when it became clear to me that being the Bitcoin privacy pioneer is
yeah,
something that's gonna make you end up in an Ecuadorian embassy in London for the
yeah,
rest of your life. It's not
yeah,
something that you wanna do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, how did you get into? Because you went really deep down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, right? So most people found Bitcoin, they bought it at X price, and that's it. But you really went deep on the development side, and probably connecting with people who are also very deep into it. What led you? So what's your Bitcoin story basically? Inception of you getting in, finding it, and then saying, okay, this is something that I want to spend time and and master, the privacy side and being really involved with it.
Right. I was young and it came at the right time.
Mm.
I had nothing better to do, so I got into it. You see, maybe one of the largest pull for me was when I sent an email to Nicolas Dorier, who created BTC Pay. It's a very famous software in
Yep.
Bitcoin lands, but at that time he didn't do BTC Pay. He was working on a Bitcoin C# library, and I sent an email to him if he want an assistant or something. Basically, offered free work, and he said, "Yeah, sure, come to Japan." And
Yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
months later, I was on a plane to Japan and working under the god of Bitcoin C#
Yeah.
development. So that was the largest pool, I believe, for me.
What's funny is I've talked about this in the past, like how few people actually do what you did, how few people reach out and say, hey, can I work for you for free? Can I do like a 1 month internship, or can I shadow something? Is this something I can do for free? It's the best way to get into an industry. And not everyone will reply, of course, but that is literally career changing and life changing. And I'm always amazed how few people actually do it. And for you, it changed your life in a way, send you in that direction, right? That one email.
You see, it's much more, because if you think about it, we have this schooling system, and this Prussian schooling system, where we take young 5-year-old kids, get them to
Yep.
sit down and shut up,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
8 years later, we are like, okay, why don't they become like good people? But
Yep.
what was the thing that was happening before the Prussian education system? It was people were learning from masters, right? Like
Yep.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yep.
I
Painters,
for Yeah.
sculptors, yeah,
Yeah, and you
athletes.
went there
Yep.
and you got hands-on experience from
Yep.
someone who was doing the thing that they were teaching about.
Yep.
And yeah, monkey see, monkey do is a
Yeah.
very, very good way to learn and to get your initial capital network.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree. I think it's you know, if I was 15 to even 25 years old and I was looking for a new direction in life, new career, and I was interested in any field, I one of the fastest ways to learn, yes, but also just network and be connected is to work for people for free. And it's funny to me how bad this type of advice gets received sometimes by the younger generation who just wants to be paid money immediately today, without understanding that if you work for someone for 6 months, a year or two, the network and the connections that you build will make you infinitely more money than the short-term salary working in a local business. But studying under a master is something that you, in an industry that you're interested in, just there's uncapped potential on making that move. But very few people actually make that move. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And now let's get into the Rothbardian point of view of child labor. Just kidding.
That's extreme. So when it comes to like Wasabi Wallet, how so? What's the connection between you going to Japan and then finding out about, you know, what a wallet is even? How did that transition happen?
Mhm. So in Japan, I was writing the programming the blockchain in C# book, which Nicolas Dorier wrote. But
Yep.
I'm like, I wrote, I recreated the entire thing in a way that even low IQ individuals like me can understand it.
So
So
simplified it. Yeah, yeah. So it
yes,
made it more. Yeah, yeah,
and what was in that book? I didn't simplify. I expanded on the ideas, right?
yep,
And but that book have explained entirely the entirety of Bitcoin, but in code, right?
Got
So
it. Yeah.
basically, I was able to do anything with Bitcoin with C# code.
Yeah.
And okay, so a wallet wasn't far away from that. Like I wrote wallets just as a code project tutorial. I created a wallet for that. So anyway, but again, like, okay, now you can create a wallet, but what kind of wallet people actually want?
Mm.
And I saw the join market. Join market is the oldest still alive Bitcoin privacy solution. Actually, it's Wasabi Wallet and Join Market are the only ones; those are still operational.
Yep.
But I saw Chris Batcher, the creator of Join Market, to send in a Reddit post about
Yep.
a release of Join Market, and I'm looking at it, and this thing doesn't have a user interface, and people are super excited about it. I'm like, what the heck is going on
Mm.
here? This
Yep.
is the wallet that people want. And that's when I realized the demand for privacy.
Yep.
I was young and naive, and I believed that
What year was this,
government,
by the way?
2015. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 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 So you said governments.
All right. I believed that you see there are some really strong privacy laws
Yep.
everywhere in the world, and I was young and naive, and I believed that that's what governments really want to ensure your human rights.
Yep.
And that's what they want. So I wasn't wrong on that point, but governments is like have so many different parts of it, and of course there are parts of it that's like respecting privacy and whatnot, but there are parts of it that's like attacking you with everything they got.
Yep.
So that's, I think that was the mistake. But then again, like, we were able to operate for many years, and ultimately not even the US Secret Service found anything that could have been, they would have been able to take us to court, right?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, maybe we just get out too early. I don't know.
Interesting. So you said there were 50 people working. So the company, 50 people
At the height
building
of it, yeah,
at the
yes,
height. Yeah.
yes,
And this was just around the wallet itself.
yes, just
Interesting.
around the wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 20
And
developers and whatnot.
privacy, of course, is a big deal, right? Meaning it's always in the conversation, especially now, looking at the CBDC laws now in the EU. In 2025, you started 10 years ago, really going down kind of the path of privacy and wallet building. What's your take with what's happening now with the EU CBDC? I just saw a headline today that it's coming this year in 6 months, of course, within 6 to 12 months. What's your take on? Have you been following the story? What's how did we get here?
I haven't been following the story. Tell me
Mm.
about it.
It's a long story, but I thought you would have a lot more perspective because you've been so much deeper into privacy and surrounded by people who worked actively in the industry.
I have
But
perspective though.
what's your view? First of all, what's your view on CBDCs?
So I'm not the person who likes to throw shit at projects,
Yep.
and but I do agree that this is going to be probably catastrophic.
Mm.
However, in theory, a CBDC could be worth changing, in a good
Yep.
way,
Yep.
because there are many privacy problems in mainly user experience privacy problems. But if you could have a centralized entity,
Hmm.
then you would have a perfectly private money without, like, a freely transferable.
Yep.
instantly transferable, private money, anonymous money. Like I could build it in no time if I could relax the problem of, hey, where do you keep the money? Who holds the keys? If I
Yep.
could have Coinbase or I could build a CBDC myself, then that could change the world, right? But unfortunately, you see, like Chaum
Yep.
is a pioneer in not Bitcoin privacy, but privacy of the internet. And he created Xiaomi and eCash back in the day. And right now he's working on, I believe it's called Elixir, some CBDC like Xiaomi and eCash thingy. But as I was looking into it, it was already having these compromises of let's know your customer, our users, and stuff like that. So
Yep.
even the legend himself couldn't make it work, you know.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that's my point of view of CBDC.
Yep. Yep. Do you? I mean, I agree with you. I think in theory it's amazing, right? I think having to wait for a wire transfer today at 8 p.m. Or the weekends, banks being closed, is ridiculous in today's day and age, right? So, of course, in theory, being able to send money immediately, quickly, with no, almost in a trustless way, or at least in a government guaranteed way, which in this case, it opens up a lot of potential for, yes, catastrophic scenarios. And of course, the fear is in certain countries being locked out of being unable to transfer your funds based on any views you have or any points you have accumulated or not, right? So there's some countries that have that today, trialed points, the point system with CBDCs. What's your view when it comes to, where do you think we go specifically when it comes to Bitcoin? Where do you think Bitcoin, first of all, you were early in Bitcoin. What's your view on where it is today based on the trajectory and you said you were young and you had these ideals. Where are we now based on that?
Right. I must say I'm somewhat disappointed by the slowness of the progress of the
Mm.
protocol of Bitcoin. I am very happy about its adoption and the price of it, right?
Yep, yep,
But ultimately, I haven't really seen any improvement in the core of, not I don't mean Bitcoin Core, right? Because Bitcoin Core is an entity that's building the
yep,
Bitcoin Core software, but like in the core protocols of Bitcoin, right?
yep,
So what do we want? The functions of good money. It must be a unit of account, and it is getting there. More and more people use Bitcoin. The
yep,
harder it is moving, and less volatile it is. I think it's undeniable that volatility is going down over
yep,
time. Medium of value. The final one is how portable the money is, and
yep,
that is what we should be improving at the core level, because we really want to send money instantly and freely and anonymously,
yep.
right? Like privately, instantly, freely. And if there is a money that we can send privately, instantly, freely, store of value. That's what I forgot. Store of
Mm.
value is the final function of good money. Okay.
Yep,
Um, but if we can have a money like that, then, and you see, like that's worth changing. Right
yep,
now it is still worth changing, because at least the criminals at top cannot print more money out of thin air, which is
yep,
a huge improvement. But I would, or at least at the early days, we had a all a picture of the future where anonymity is not a question that, or how can we get anonymity into Bitcoin, and how can we, at the early days, we didn't think about transaction fees. There were no transaction fees, and we had like a
yep,
huge knowledge blindness. It's like, oh, it's
yep,
gonna be like this forever, and when we hit a ball, then we are just gonna figure something out and make it cheap
yep,
again. And We kind of do that with Lightning though, so let's just give some credit to it.
Yep.
But then again, like I really thought that we already have a money that instant, free, and anonymous. Yeah, and
Yep.
it didn't happen yet.
What do you think? With that being said, what do you think stablecoins come into play? Because stablecoins are basically that, right? The way, especially like the boom of
Mhm.
stablecoins over the last 12 months, and of course now today, just a headline that JP Morgan is now just patented JPMD, the name itself. This just came out today. What's your view on what you just described, what Bitcoin essentially wanted to be, and now with stable coins coming up, of course being around for years, but like what's your view on Bitcoin and stable coins and the relationship?
Mhm, mhm. Yes, stablecoins make the world a better place. The market is clearly showing that there are people who don't know about Bitcoin, but they use stablecoins, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it is clearly useful, right? Now, but again, mm, let's say they created the idea of money, but they still didn't fix the problem of the criminals at top. Okay, let's not call them criminals. Let's just call them like a group of people who can create money out of thin air, right?
yeah, the
Like
bankers, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what Bitcoin fixed. Stable coins didn't fix. That's the problem
Interesting, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Where do you see the space going from now? Of course, it's taken a different trajectory over the last 5 to 10 years, especially over the last 2 years, but where do you think it goes from now? Does it become a currency? Does it replace currency? You've seen El Salvador trying to.
Mhm.
What's your view on where it goes? Bitcoin.
Yeah, it definitely gonna replace currency, all our fiat money, right? Like imagine a system where we are using cash, but that cash represents Bitcoin, right?
Yep.
It's easy to build. But okay, so what's the thing here? The problem is exponentials. So exponentials are like getting better, 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 and poof, it's like
Yep.
in a in a blink of an eye something happens,
Yep.
and many people call that hyper-Bitcoinization, and
Sure.
I know the original term was not meant to be this, but when people are using this, people are using a term in a way that that supersedes its original meaning
Yep.
eventually. So let's call this inflection point hyper-Bitcoinization, right? When Bitcoin is so big compared to the rest of the economy that the
Yep.
movement of Bitcoin is directly affecting the rest of the economy. And at that point, the dollar has no chance. The
Mm.
Hungarian forint has no chance. Like the rest of the economy has no chance because, look, there are things like I'm buying a house because I want to keep value. I don't want to live in that house. I just want something that keeps value.
Yep.
Uh, I don't do that, but because I'm already opted out to the Bitcoin standard,
Yep.
but people do that, right? Now, but they're not gonna do that anymore. If there is an
Mm.
abstract store of value, I think it's gonna be Bitcoin, but it's always a question, right? If there
Yep.
is an abstract store of value that you can just put money into it and you don't have to worry about it, then you're going to use that because that is a more useful tool than buying a house would be. So again, like, how can this fail? This cannot fail. And that's
Yep.
the good news, right?
Yep. I think that one thing that keeps coming up over the last, let's say, year or two, especially the last 12 months, probably is that it is in some respect the safest time to buy Bitcoin just because of the type of user, buyer, investor, fund manager who's now involved in it. It is probably the least riskiest time to buy it, just because it's not 2012. There's I think the we're close to a zero, maybe not zero, but close, definitely close to a zero risk of it being banned, which 10 years ago was very different. Many
Oh
people on the
yeah,
show,
yeah,
didn't start as early as you, but I remember the headlines. It was a real Financial Times loved to run those stories every bear market. So yeah, it's definitely changed the paradigm, of course. What are you the most excited about? What excites you the most? It could be Bitcoin, could be longevity, but what 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 gets your attention the most nowadays?
yeah. I'm working on the longevity World Cup,
Yep,
and you see, like, this is a niche blue ocean project. We have a very small community that is growing and
yep,
growing. The, look, the idea here is that I punch you in the face. That wouldn't be nice, right? That would
yep,
be not nice, unethical, illegal for me to punch you in the face. But what if I do it in the frames of a competition? Oh, if it's a kickbox game,
mm,
then it's not only become legal and ethical, it's imperative. Our
sure,
goals is to punch each other in the face, and other people are going to cheer for us to punch each other in the
yep,
face. Like, what is this madness? Now, this is the power of games. So, if games can transform the motivation, align the goals of towards the game goal of many people, then we might that you see there is some very fundamental truth of human existence here regarding
yep,
games, and could this be the key for us to achieve longevity, escape velocity? Maybe that's
yep.
what we are trying to figure out.
So how is it set up, right? So what's the is it you're the visionary of the Longevity World Cup, or do you have
Mhm.
other people working with you?
Well, it's mainly a one person team, but I
Yep,
have an editor, actually two editors at this point. My
nice.
brother does a few things sometimes. So it's very early days. Yeah. But
And
but there are many longevity athletes, right? Who
yep.
are like super excited, and basically they are my colleagues in this venture.
So what's your vision? Meaning, what do you want to take this? Is it like one event a year? Is it local events in different countries? How do you want to expand it?
Right. So this is a sport out of nothing, a new sport. Right now, it's an online leaderboard.
Got it. Yep.
The people are, yeah, the people who got the best results, they rank on the leaderboard and they get the street cred for it, right?
Yep.
Also, and Bitcoin prices. So I put a donation address there in the main page, and actually people donated quite a lot. So it's
Yep.
like 1,500 for the first guy
Yep.
dollar in Bitcoin, and of course I'm spreading the word of Bitcoin, Bitcoin for life. So I'm
Yep.
gonna get these people to open a Bitcoin wallet and
Yep.
onboard them to the future. So I'm spreading the word in the longevity space. Yeah.
Did you have an episode, like a health episode, that made you interested in longevity specifically? Or was it just like, you it's something that you found a passion in quickly?
Oh yeah, I was. So I did not have a health episode, but throughout my entire life, I was always struggling with my weight.
Mm,
And you see, even in high school, no, maybe not high school, but in university, I was learning English by reading Lyle McDonald's books about hormones and promocryptine and like crazy stuff that no one
yeah, yeah,
else
yeah, yeah.
would read. So about diet and stuff like that. So I've been always very deep into these topics, but not professionally. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. What's the big goal? Where do you want to take the Longevity World Cup?
All right. All right. So right now it's a leaderboard. Eventually, and every year it restarts. But eventually, I hope that the biological aging test will be just a qualifier for the next stage of the competition, which is going
Yep.
to be much more rigorous measurements. And even that will be just a qualifier for the top 10 who we fly out to a secret island in Malaysia and put them in a biohacker house with a lot of cameras. And for
Yep. Yep.
10 days, everyone is measuring them and whatnot. And we are trying to figure out what can we learn from these superhumans, These are really
Yep.
superhumans who are like
Yep.
doing these things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's once you, I've been interested in longevity for years. I think it gets more natural the
You're
more you.
welcome to join.
I'll definitely have a look. It's something that I think that the more you age, the more you get interested in just optimizing health in general and food, yes, but also training. It's definitely a different feel than just going to the gym. It's very very different, and it's really a way of life if you go down that longevity rabbit hole. There's a lot of very interesting research coming out almost every week. So yeah. Last question here. It's a question I have to ask every single guest because the audience loves it. When it comes to Bitcoin, this is pure price action. So this is extremely, you can get it wrong, you can get it right. This is not financial advice, but what do you see? What is the price action of Bitcoin in the next 6 to 12 months? What is the all-time high that you think Bitcoin hits in the next year or so?
So, okay, it can go up, right? But I haven't seen a bear market for a very long time. I
Mm.
think most people even forgot what a bear market is. But heads are rolling sometimes in Bitcoin.
Yep.
uh, yeah, it can go up or it can go down. Of course, it's left or right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, there is definitely gonna be a correction. I'm kind of hoping that we might see 200 or something like that
Yep.
soonish before the correction, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
Yep. So definitely some room up and then a correction, which I think will
Hmm.
be, of course. I don't think we've seen euphoria, but I do agree on that. I think of course there will be, and for some people it's the first cycle, so they need to understand what a Bitcoin correction is too.
All right.
Yep.
That's the best way to learn.
Everyone goes through it. So, all right, no power. Thank you for joining the show. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with? We will, of course, link everything around this episode, links to the resources you mentioned. Any last words?
Right. Consider joining the Longevity World Cup or donating there, longevityworldcup.com. Thank you.
Oh, you got the good domain too. All right, yeah, we'll definitely link it. I think that our audience knows that I'm very much into health too, so I will personally have a look. Check out like Nopara said, longevityworldcup.com. And thank you for being on the show. Thank you for joining, everyone. We'll catch you next time. Let's see where Bitcoin takes us. Thank you for the perspective of someone coming from someone who's been in really on the inside of building with teams in Bitcoin for a long time. Thank you.